So, I know I didn't post in April. This is Krista Reads Books. I was doing a readathon challenge and I kind of like hit the ground running. So I'm gonna do April, and then I'll do 2 books for May of like what I did in May because May is quite long. I read 20 books in May, which is a lot for me. So we'll start with April. Um, these are stats that I pulled from Storygraph or like kept track of, just like my own curiosity kind of stuff. I read 13 books. I read 7 ebooks, 5 audiobooks, and 1 physical book. We'll talk about them. Okay, so the first book I read was Warm Up. This is a prequel to the Villains trilogy by V. Schwab. It's really, really short. I think it's only like 50 pages. Um, but it's kind of like Eli's, like, not quite his origin story, because you get that in the first Villains novel, but it's kind of like his uh, first reckoning, I guess we'll call it that. So, really fun little read. If you're reading the series, I believe this is free to download off of V. Schwab's website. Next book I read is called The Witch Collector. This is a series of books, I believe there are 4 of them currently out, about a woman who grows up in this like farm town and she has magic, and every year the witch collector comes and takes the witches away. So they're trying to like hide her magic. And without trying to spoil too much, basically like some stuff happens and she's kind of forced to go with him. And just like it's very, very good. It's a very kind of stereotypical romantasy novel, but the characters are really well written and the plot is really interesting. And I just really like romantasy in general. Quick read. They're a little bit longer, but the writing style is very fast paced, so you never feel like you're like slowing down or anything. So I'll probably read this whole series. I've already started the second book. Um, but yeah, I read this as an ebook on my Kobo. So the next 2 books were NetGalley books. The first one was Obstetrics by Naomi Kreitzer. This will be released next week on June 9th. I will post a separate video about that because I did really like this book. Um, this book is about a woman who essentially gets kidnapped by a cult and is forced to be their obstetrician. So it's just like really kind of like unsettling, um, mostly because like it's not so far-fetched from reality that stuff like that could happen. Um, but I wouldn't say it's like gory or creepy or like scary or anything, but it's just really unsettling, like a little bit of a thriller. But anyways, 5 stars. I really liked that one. More Soul by Carter Keene is another book I read for NetGalley. This book is actually already out. It came out April 14th. This book was just not for me, I think. It is set in like Appalachia, Ohio, and it deals a lot with like the cryptid mythology of Appalachia and like the um, it's like very H.P. Lovecraftian, like eldritch horror kind of vibes. It's not bad, it's just not for me. Like I don't read a lot of that kind of stuff. So not a bad book. If you like that kind of stuff, like just really weird, kind of strange stuff, then this book is probably right up your alley. Void Scarred was the next book I read. This was recommended to me by a friend. This is a World of Warcraft novel. If you know anything about World of Warcraft novels, there's just like thousands, like literally like 40,000, I think, something absurd. I really liked this book. This book follows like 3 different storylines. So you have the human fleet that's fighting the orcs. You have the orcs, which is great comedy. Like the orcs are just like perfect comedic timing. They're like so funny. And then you have the second human fleet that infiltrates, we'll say, the first human fleet, and they're like kind of like at odds with each other, but they have this common enemy of the orcs, and they're fighting the orcs. Really great read, a lot of fun. The audiobook narrator is phenomenal. He has like a really deep voice and like a really heavy accent, but all of the characters have like really distinct voices, and like the humor again in this book is just so good. I really, really, really liked this book. I'm really sad that there's not like a direct sequel to this book, and Warhammer novels are just so abundant. Um, but yeah, Void Scarred is really, really good. The next book I read was A Short Stay in Hell, which is it's a short novel about a man's very long stay in hell, like billions of years, we're talking. And the version of hell is his, like, so there are different versions of hell, and the hell that he gets sent to is a giant library where it can have every book ever written, including like nonsense words, just letters. It could have nothing on the pages except for like a period. Um, and the only way to get out of hell is to find the book about your life and present it. Um, so I just thought this book was like kind of boring, to be honest. Like, and I know that's kind of the point, right? Like, he's spending all his time in hell and it's dragging and like things happen, but like, I don't know. Again, not for me, not my cup of tea. Um, but again, it's really short. I've read it in one night, I think. Um, so anyways, the next prompt, one of the prompts for one of the reading challenges I do is a nostalgic read. And I am so happy that I chose this book. This is a book that my dad and I read when I was in like middle school. And we had the whole series. We actually lost the first book. I had to rebuy a few of the books, but we've had the whole series, and like you can see like how old and like well loved these books are. Like this book is pretty beat up, but I mean these books are 40 years old. Um and I'm just so happy like to have read this. This is such a great book. It still holds up really well. It was published in 1984, sorry. Um but it's like about this group of like friends who are begrudgingly kind of like they just come back from a war and they're like kind of thrust into another one. Um, but you have Tanis the half elf, you have Flint Fireforge, you have Gold Moon, I think is her name, and then the other characters are like Riverwind, Tasselhoff Burfoot, who's a little hobbit man, and then you have Raceland, who's like a mage, who slowly throughout this series becomes like evil. So like you can see here he's wearing red robes, here he's wearing red robes, but as the stories go on, here he's wearing like the black robes. So like just a really fun series. I'm so glad I read this book. Highly, highly, highly recommend. It still holds up really well, even though it's 40 years old. Um, fun, fun, fun read. And I found an audiobook narrator on YouTube, and I don't remember the channel tag, but I'll link it below. But he did an audiobook version of this book. It is so good. His name is Paul Skinner, and he is just so good. Like his rendition of the book is so, so, so good. So if you want an audiobook version, I would recommend it. It's on YouTube. It's free. Um, Highly recommend these books. This whole series is so good, and I can't wait to finish it for the rest of the year. I'm going to try to read it throughout the year. The next book I read, I do believe this was also one of the reading challenges I did. But this is Soft as Bones, a memoir. Yeah, so Soft as Bones was one that I read. The prompt for the reading challenge was linked to tradition. And this memoir talks a lot about how so she grew up with like an abusive father, and how she like found herself again through her Cree traditions, through her her family and things like that. So it's a really, really good like little memoir about just like finding yourself and balancing those different parts of your life, and like learning your history and dealing with your past and like figuring out who you are in the present kind of stuff. Um, the next book I read was Everyone on this Train is a Suspect. This is the second book in the Everyone in My Family Has Killed Somebody series, and it's really, really good. This one is set on a cross-country train that travels across Australia like twice a year or something. Um, and it's like a closed door kind of mystery, Ag- Agatha Christie style kind of stuff. But I like to just listen to them. If you can figure them out if you want to, but like I just kind of like to put them on and listen to everyone kind of talking, because the narrator talks to you directly, the reader, a lot, and like just the characters are really well written and the stories are really fun. So you don't have to like figure out the mysteries to like enjoy this book. And then Accidentally Kidnapping the Mafia Boss is what it is. It is mafia smut, if that is something you're into. This one's really short. I think it's only like 3 hours on the audiobook. And it's fine. It is what it is. It's smut. I'm never gonna rate smut super highly. But I do like to read it sometimes as like a palate cleanser if things get a little too heavy. Um, so I did like it. It was fine. It's a fun little read. The humor in it's pretty good. Um, but yeah. And then the last three books I read. Um, so the first book on the screen is Healing Hippo of Hinota Park. This one we actually read for our book club, and it's a cute little book. It is a compilation of like little vignettes. These are all fictional stories, but like about this park where this like toy hippo just kind of like is, and people go to the park and tell the hippo their like problems, and then they're like healed. When in reality, what's happening is they're like unburdening themselves with the problems, and then they're able to address the issues. Um, approach difficult conversations or like talk to a doctor, things like that. So really cute little story if you just want like really quick little like hopeful, positive, like heartfelt little vignettes. Okay, so Arcana Academy, I actually read on my Kobo through the library. I liked it so much. I bought the special edition uh, signed copy. Um, it's hard to see, but I love this book. This is one of my favorite books of all time, I think. This book is quite chunky, but it's really, really good. It's really fast paced. The magic system is really, really interesting. It's tarot cards used as a magic system. And, you have your typical, like, romantasy, whatever, where she's just a girl. She was, like, imprisoned for her magic. And she escapes prison and she kind of is forced to enroll in this academy to like save her life, and they're trying to find the the last major arcana card. They're trying to find all the major arcana cards to set up the world, and the only way you can make the world is if you have all the major arcana cards, um, and you have like all their abilities together. So they're trying to find all like the major arcana cards. It's really, really cool magic system. It's really, really good writing. We love Elise Kova in this house. We read a lot of her books, but the second book I think comes out in September. I already have it pre-ordered. I'm super excited. The second book is Prince of Swords. So highly, highly, highly recommend this book. This is one of my favorites. I definitely will be rereading it. And then the last book I read was again just another little like smutty quick read. This was free on Kobo Plus. Um, but it's like two spies from conflicting assassin groups live across the hall from each other. Um, and it is what it is. It's just this. light-hearted little smut novel. But yeah, that's what I read in April. I'll get this video up, and then I will probably over the next couple days post what I read in May.